of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ, accusing James of mortgage fraud.
This is exactly what I would call karma. You guys remember the Attorney General that went after Trump saying that he falsifies business documents to get a bigger loan from the banks and lied about his net worth, even though all the banks said that they got paid and they had no issue with what he did and they were fine with everything, and they still went after him anyway? That same Attorney General, Letitia James, is being investigated over alleged mortgage fraud. Funny how that works. So it sounds like she maybe falsified some mortgage documents. Interesting. That's literally the definition of karma. It's coming back to haunt you for going after someone that you didn't need to do because you did for political reasons, because you want to make a name for yourself, and now it's backfiring. We're going to dive into this. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's dig in. The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, who infamously declared that no one is above the law when she was targeting Donald Trump, was hit with a federal criminal referral for instances of alleged mortgage fraud on Tuesday. The Federal Housing Finance Agency alleges that James had falsified records to get home loans for a property in Virginia that she claimed was her principal residence or her primary residence in 2023 while serving as New York State prosecutor. And this occurred weeks before her civil trial with Trump over him overinflating his values or properties. Ms. James was the sitting Attorney General of New York and is required by law to have her primary residence in the state of New York, even though her mortgage applications list her intent to have Norfolk, Virginia property as her primary home. Interesting. It appears Ms. James' property and mortgage-related misrepresentations may have continued her to her recent 2023 Norfolk, Virginia property purchase in order to secure a lower interest rate and more favorable loan terms. So she lied about her residency to get a favorable loan from the bank. So she lied to the bank. Wow. I can't believe she would do that. That's crazy. I thought she was above that since she went after someone else for supposedly doing that. Funny how that works, right? Apparently, this is not the first time she's done that. Back in 1983 and 2000, she purchased properties with her father as the co-signer, and they listed themselves as husband and wife. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, so she's lying about stuff just to get a better deal, which she basically accused Donald Trump of doing the same thing. So this is the official documents here. Basically saying this is from April 14th. This is from Pam Bondi, August 17th, 2023, blah, blah, blah. And this is the actual thing showing her residency. So yeah, she's just a complete hypocrite at this point. Now I want to show you how stupid this was. So Kevin O'Leary basically explains this perfectly from a business perspective on how stupid this whole case was.
Wouldn't there be many companies who would not want to do business or loan money to people like yourself or investors if they know that they can get away with fraud and there's no recourse to protect them?
Excuse me, what fraud? This is not about Trump anymore. When you get a developer that builds a building and he says it's worth $400 million and he wants to borrow $200 million from a bank, which happens every day, everywhere on earth, including every American city. Every developer is an entrepreneur. They shine the light on their building and they say it's worth 400. The bank does its own due diligence, as was done in this case, because they're very good at it. The banks are very good, and they say, no, it's worth 300. We're only going to loan you 150 million. That haggling has gone on for decades. That's how it works. And then in this case, even the bank that was supposedly defrauded testified and said, we didn't lose anything. We want to do business with this guy again. We'd like to, but the judge said, no, 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 no. Let's penalize this developer for $355 million. And if we're going to do that, let's penalize all the developers all across America. They've all done the same thing. All of them should go to jail, and we should stop building buildings. That's what the message is from New York. Even the governor herself is concerned about what this looks like to investors all around the world. It's not just U.S. domestic. All around the world, people are talking about what happened here. You really think people want to invest money in New York after this? How about we go somewhere else?
That's a good point he brought up too here is shortly after, because there was a lot of people saying like, why are we going to do business in New York? This could happen to us. This could happen to anyone. And the governor of New York literally came out and was like, no, you guys have nothing to worry about. Basically saying this is just to take down Trump. We don't care about anything else. That's why we're doing this. All of you guys keep doing what you're doing. You're fine. And that's what Kevin O'Leary pointed out here.
There are people who would, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to converse with you instead.
Just did.
It's only because I want to have a conversation, Kevin, as opposed to just having you tell me.
Because you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. You understand exactly what I'm talking about.
I got to tell you, I'm respectable for a number of reasons, Kevin O'Leary, but being a lawyer is one of those issues. But I'll tell you, when I hear your conversation, and I do want to converse with you about this point, I understand that there are legitimate concerns that were raised during the trial and will continue to be raised about who the quote unquote, who is actually bringing the suit. It wasn't the banks who were saying that we as consumers or unsophisticated feel this way. But Letitia James, the Attorney General, and I know you want to expand beyond Trump, has suggested, well, it's about making the playing field level for those who are not the major and billionaire investors, but for those who are supposed to put business records out there, want to get a loan, the idea of making sure that they have to have the same true statements included as those who have a lot more money. Is there any weight to that for you?
Well, I asked you who lost money, and I'll make it even clearer. You and I, we're developing a data center together, and I say to you, we can go to New York, where this just happened. It's your money now. You're now an investor, and you're taking risk. You're an entrepreneur with me, right beside me. We're together on the deal. Or I can show you Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia, where the governors actually ran businesses. Let's go there, where that's never happened before. They have power. They have permits. They've got legislation that's supportive of entrepreneurship. Why would we go to New York? Why take the risk? My only point is, did we just diminish the great state of New York and the great people of New York? And shouldn't they ask for better management so they don't become a flyover state? Remember, New York has the highest taxes in the country, the worst regulatory environment, and it's incredibly mismanaged. And I'm pointing out now, on top of that, you get this insanity, a victimless crime. And forget about Trump. It's not about Trump. I don't care about Trump in this. I care about America, and I care about entrepreneurship, and I care about democracy and the fairness. The judicial system is now being criticized. People are asking themselves, the bar of New York, is this judge rational to charge $355 million in a case where no one lost any money? Is that good for the people of New York? Shouldn't the people of New York wake up to this and say, what's happening to us? Why is this becoming so perverse? Why are we the focus of this injustice? And I have nothing to do with Trump. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm supporting American entrepreneurship. And New York is slowly becoming the #1 loser state in America.
So you brought up a couple of other things that are a good point too. Is one, they have like the highest taxes, which is, so it's already an unfriendly business state to begin with. They have a lot of regulations, which makes things longer. It takes longer to do things, make buildings, to do concrete, all that stuff, all these regulations they have. A lot of it surrounding the environment. So it takes a long time. Same with California. It takes a long time to get things done. That's why it seems like nothing ever gets done. So people are pulling up old posts of Letitia James, and it's just hilarious. Apparently, this is a 100% real tweet from her. Donald Trump lied about his net worth and on his statements of financial condition to get loans for much better terms than he should have. That's insane. This is another one. Roses are red, violets are blue. No one is above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. Oh my God. And then just straight up, no one is above the law. Funny. And what Kevin O'Leary is pointing out too right here, the banker that testified on Trump's behalf, no payments were missed. The loans were never found in default. So yeah, there was no reason to go after this. And this is just funny too. Watch the beginning of this.
Representing our respective states, stand up and enforce the rule of law. The President of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the
That last one right here, 2018. They were talking about going after him in 2018. They were looking for anything they possibly could to go after him. This was all just politics. And what's insane to me, and the people on the left don't see this, all they've been saying since Trump was like running for a re-election is that he's going to go after his political enemies. That's all they've been saying, right? What do you think all these people have been doing to him? All these indictments that come out of nowhere that don't make sense. All these criminal charges that don't make sense. That's going after your political enemy. This is what the left has been doing for years. And now the flip is happening. And now these liberals are like, oh, Trump's attacking her because of this. Hey, if she lied on it, she lied on it, right? If she committed the crime, right? That's all it is. It's going after criminals. It's crazy, the hypocrisy. So, like I said earlier, in the same trial, they try to say Mar-a-Lago is just valued at $18 million in one of the hearings. This is September 2023. $18 million. Okay, let's look at Zillow. So, Mar-a-Lago is this absolutely massive piece of land here. I think it's like 20 acres in a beautiful spot of Florida, like water on both sides. Beautiful piece of land, right? Huge. 5 tennis courts, whatever this is. Huge parking lot. They said this whole thing was $18 million, which is absolutely insane. I don't know why I can't get rid of this half. All right, let's try and get rid of that half. So you have this property here, north of here, right? This one, it says it's worth $50 million. Not even a full acre. Or maybe it is. 3,400 square feet. I don't think it's full acre. It does have water view front property. About a third of the size as Trump's. And obviously the housing is a lot smaller. According to Zillow, that's $50 million. But according to the New York government, this whole massive piece of land is only $18 million. That's when people with common sense knew that this made no sense. I remember seeing liberals like Harry Sisson and them going like, he's lying. They say it's this. And it's like, dude, clearly you've never owned property or even looked into owning property. Anybody with half a brain cell can tell it doesn't make sense at all. And he just was like, oh, well, then why would they lie? Like, yeah, I don't know. Why would that? It's just crazy. That was a part of the whole thing that just made no sense at all. And people were like, oh, well, he's just lying. It's just Trump lying again. Yeah, it wasn't. This was all just a political hoax. This was all just a try to take Trump down. And now it is 100% backfiring on her. And I bet right now she regrets ever going after him, or she's going to after this trial ends. This is what happens if you're a bad person. If you try to attack someone just for having different points of view, or if you try going after someone like political motivations, like this is what happens to you. You can't like preach you're this great person, I'm going to take the bad guys down while doing the same thing behind closed doors. You can't. You're lying on your documents to get better loans. And then you're going to accuse Trump of doing the same thing, even though all the banks he worked with said they would work with him again. Like Kevin O'Leary said, all the banks said they got paid. There was no harm done to anyone in this situation. You use government overreach to purposely attack Trump to try to bring him down because you want to make a name for yourself. You want to be known as the attorney general that brought Trump down. And it backfired on you. Now you're being taken down. And I hope you get found guilty. I hope you get a huge fine. I honestly hope you lose your position because that's just a wrong abuse of power. And you 100% deserve everything coming to you. That's it. That's the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this whole crazy situation. Like, it's so funny how it's like the coffee calling the kettle black, you know? Hypocrisy at its finest. All right, like, subscribe, comment down below. I'll see you next time.